Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, it's going to be a lore video, a slight deep dive into a specific advance of Zeta unit, and that's the Woundwort. Specifically, the RX-124 Gundam TR6 Woundwort. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but that's not it. We'll take a look at the Woundwort and kind of that TR6 line in general with a brief explanation. And again, a lot of these lore videos have assistance by Lord Talos Mobius, so thanks a lot for that. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you think this is a cool video, give it a like. Check the links in the description for ways you could support the channel. And come join our Discord, we have a lot of fun there. But let's get started. All right, the Woundwort, developed as a compilation of the TR series of mobile suits. We're familiar with the TR1, and you know what has gotten me to do this video is the fact that they just released the Woundwort in Gundam Battle Operation 2, which was quite a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. It's a very unique design suit from a fan favorite of what's outside of the animation, and that's Advance of Zeta. But the Gundam TR6 is a mobile suit developed to achieve the final steps of the TR plan. Okay, that's going to be a whole other video, but I'll talk a bit about the TR plan here in a second. But equipped with an enhanced attachment mechanism called the Universal Conversion System, it became possible to combine the standards of existing machines to entire armies and weaponize decisive battles with its unique ability. The base body, Woundwort, is but a small MS intended for use as a control unit to replace and operate optional parts. Its true value lies in the infinite operational modes realized by retrofitting and customizing the mobile suit. Its final form is called the Decisive Battle Weapon Inlay. Although it contained the power to turn the tide of battles, the TR6 did not play an active role in the Grips Wars due to various speculations. And that a lot of this came out after Zeta, but it always showed great potential. Okay, so the TR plan was the next main weapon and mobile suit development plan led by the Titans. So the Titans, which was established with the mission of hunting down Zeon remnants for a special unit within the Earth Federation forces that claimed to be the guardians of the Earth sphere. Due to the characteristics of the organization, the Titans, who were a small number of elites, had to deal with a large number of enemies with a limited force. Therefore, the MS equipped by the unit must have the strength to suppress a large number of enemies with a single unit, or a small number and versatility in all areas. Simply put, all-purpose machines. At that time, there was only one MS that met those requirements, and that is the Gundam. Gundam's success in the One-Year War instilled in the Earth Federation forces a concept that would come to be called faith in Gundam. It was only natural that the Titans wanted a Gundam as a symbol of their organization. In response to this request, the development team extracted all the elements required for the absolute universal machine. A method was adopted in which multiple plans were advanced in parallel to each other for each element. In this way, the experimental machines from TR1 to TR5 were completed. They compiled the data they obtained and developed the TR6. With the high-spec frame Woundwort at its core, it can respond to all situations by replacing attachment parts developed for each purpose according to the mission. That was the birth of a versatile weapon. The TR6's superior parts compatibility also drew attention in another way. During the Grips War, MS showed signs of dinosaur-like evolution, and even in Titans, each development department had its own standard prototype development plan, and in fact, many had been developed. The plan included standard integration of the successors of such mobile suit groups into a single TR6 model. In this way, the TR plan is not just a mere development plan, but has come to fruition as a gigantic plan to update a huge number of interchangeable parts, the system that operates them, and even the organizational structure. In other words, the Gundam TR6 refers not to the name of the MS, but to its entire operating system. By retrofitting the TR6, it was possible to obtain performance superior to any enemy MS that could be expected. When fully equipped, which can be said to be the final form of the conversion, it advances to the Decisive Battle Weapon Inlay. When deployed in the Grips campaign, it acquired enough power to turn the tide of battle. Gundam TR6 embodies the prestige of the Titans and has been perfected as the guardian of the Earth sphere, and its power is demonstrated in later years by conquering the founding war in the Martian sphere. So yeah, it's very interesting how small the Woundwort is in general, and again, the idea with the TR plan is to be able to add all these modular parts on it. We've seen from that main Hazel Gundam that I'm a fan of, where you see other variants where it has boosters everywhere. Later you get like the Hazen Fleet where it has even more stuff added on, and that's part of like a TR line. And when we get to 6, we get to where we get to the inlay, which is gigantic. So you look at it and it looks kind of like a spider, some strider, or some insect-like mobile suit, but what's interesting is the fact that a lot of it's more of like a mobile weapon or mobile armor, because you have the Woundwort, the small like mobile suit frame or body sitting there, and around it is all the little parts that are added on to make it a gigantic thing, and it gets pretty crazy. Now, again, while this video is just for the Woundwort specifically, we can look at real quick just to see all the TR6 based variants, since this is a TR6 based Advanced of Zeta suit. We've got, the Dandelion 2, Fiver 2, Gaplant 2, Hazel 2, all these things that are very interesting. The 2 is added on because it is part of the other TR line. But I mean, there's just so many of them that I'm still trying to figure out exactly how the development works. I mean, I've got a basic idea on what we discussed here with each TR series having their own elements they add onto it. But you can see that sometimes other previous MS bodies could be retrofitted into a further TR line. Now this one's awesome, the gigantic mode. So now there is a model kit out of this, or part of it, at least I'd love to get. If you look closely, you can see the Woundwort's actually a small part in the middle of this mobile armor, and it's almost like a Psycho Gundam if you look at the hands, because it is not only of that size, but even the hands have the weapons of that. So we can see where even though a lot of these Advanced of Zeta or later TR6 line look fantastical for that era, for that time, you can see where it's more of like a skeletal modular part of what I guess the Federation or Anaheim Electronics ended up doing with mobile suits going forward. And also we could see that due to the cost of development of this modulation between all these series of suits, that's why the Advanced of Zeta line doesn't really become a big part of Universal Century. It just has its limited story that's even further limited because they're being part of the Titans and everything like that. Anyway, so that's my quick look at the Woundwort, getting an understanding that it is a small mobile suit that's part of this TR6 line of modulation where it can have all these other parts put on. Curious, out of the variants, what's a favorite of yours? And what's maybe one we should do a deep dive on, or maybe an aspect of Advanced of Zeta that we should do a deep dive on? Again, thanks to Lord Talos Mobius for all the information. I will be doing some more follow-up videos on this that Talos and I have already started working on, just talking about the TR line in general. But I thought because of the Woundwort coming out in GBO2 and a recent option part set for the Metal Robot Spirits version to build it into another part of the TR6 line, I thought it'd be good to kind of dive in, just briefly kind of touch on the Woundwort. And actually, to add to that, I just looked this up on Wikipedia. The word Woundwort, if we're even pronouncing it correctly, is the common name for several species of plants. So, very interesting how we see that there's that dandelion that's part of Advanced of Zeta, although it was that Gundam development project in general that adopted the flower names for a lot of the mobile suits. Anyway, interesting to see that crossover there. But anyway, there you go. Let me know what's your favorite variant and what other things should we look at in the Advanced of Zeta line. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll talk later.